thank you so much for this opportunity to ANAMA and UNDP for the opportunity to share the experience of Ministry of Labor and Social Protection Fund. First of all, I'd like to share with you some indicators of the last 3 or 4 years which were achieved by the Ministry of Labor. These indicators show the scope of the reforms and innovations which we implemented in the country. For the last over the last 3-4 years, salary fund in the country increased 2 times, 2 or 3 times increase of minimum wage over the 4 years. 2 or 3 times increases the monthly amount of the benefits, social benefits for the disability in our country, and up to 2 times increase of the presidential scholarship for the persons with disability because the reason of the disability because of the war to the war participants. During the last 3-4 years, budget allocation to the social expenditures increased to up to 65%. These numbers show the scope of the government support in the social protection of the population, and of course the main victims is one of the among these people. In order to implement all of to achieve these indicators, a lot of legislation acts changed, and a lot of legislation drafts prepared by the ministry, up to more than 600 legislation documents prepared by the ministry, and most of them, more than 65% approved by the government, parliament, or the president office. And one of the main important reforms which implemented by the ministry with the initiative of the first Vice President of Azerbaijan, Mehriban Aliyeva, is the DOST concept. DOST concept is the one-stop service delivery of all of the ministry's services which we provide to our customers through the different offices. And starting from the 2019, we provide services with one window principle in our DOST centers. Right now we have 4 DOST centers in Baku and another one in Absheron district. And for the upcoming years, we're planning to cover all the country with these DOST centers. In these centers, we provide 175 services to our population, and most of them, more than 100, are provided electronically. And one of the main our achievements in the field of service delivery to the population, and as well as the persons with disability, and among them is the mine victims, is providing the proactive services. Proactive services, this is the Azerbaijan Ministry of Labor and Social Protection first government stakeholder which started to provide proactive services. Proactive services, the information system of the Ministry of Labor and Social Protection identifies the eligibility of the certain social benefits or pensions, and makes appointment by the system for these payments, and the persons gets notification from our systems immediately that they can go and take their bank cards from any bank office. For example, last year we have a baby in our family, and I received an SMS that I can go to the bank office and take my benefit for the childbirth. For the last 2 years, we provided more than 200,000 proactive service delivery. This means that all of these people, without the need to coming to any place or to collect any hard copy documents and to provide it to any other agencies, just our system makes all of these steps in advance of there. And my colleague before me talk about the UN Convention on the Rights of the Persons with Disability. You know that Azerbaijan is the first country who ratified the convention and its protocol. and arising from the requirements of the Convention principles. And Azerbaijan started to change its legislation and bring it in line with the principles and requirements of the Convention. And as a result, in 2018, Azerbaijan's parliament approved a new law on the rights of the persons with disability, and arised from this law up to 20 normative legislation acts and regulation by Cabinet of Ministers approved, a lot of documents which covers all the rights of the persons with disabilities, and of course the mine victims among them. One of the most important documents among these documents is the disability criteria. Ms. Hande Hanım is we have a good relation with the WHO in the implementation of the new criteria, and starting from 1st July of this year, we are changing the disability assessment system from old Soviet Union principles to the new ones with barometric assessment of disability, and this will help to focus on the social protection of the persons with disability properly. And another achievement of the Ministry of Labour for up to over the last 3 years is providing the high-tech prostheses to our people, to our military persons who lost their limbs in the war. Most of them lost their limbs because of the mine explosion. And in collaboration with the Ottobock and Iceland company Össur, we created a special facility in our protest center in Baku for the production and providing servicing of the high-tech prostheses to our persons with disabilities, war participants. And another important matter, which is will be interesting for the participants of this event, is that we made a change in last year. We made a change to the legislation and bring a new disability reason to the reasons of this disability. This is the disability because of the terror acts, and this will help us to identify the people who lost their limbs or wounded because of the mine explosion, to separately assess their disability, and in future, maybe in upcoming years, we will support, they will get social protection differently from the total population, because right now they are assessed, their disability assessed like a civil person without any differentiating. But after the approval of this, legislation, it will help us to identify them properly and to support them by the government. For the last year, we provided up to 200 high-tech prostheses to our war veterans, and this process is right now ongoing. And starting from this year, we will provide high-tech prostheses which make the activity of the persons up to 7% of the activity of their lost limb. Starting from this year, we will provide to another persons besides of the war participants. That's a lot.